This is the shark game, and I had a great deal of fun in making this. It took me a long time, but I really enjoyed it. It's carrying on from the original idea from the Scratch 1.4 game that we were introduced. And I added a bit more dimension to it. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I must admit, it's probably my favourite game actually that I've made on Scratch. It is actually quite compelling. It's yeah. I mean, I've added fish in here, and you've got an octopus as well. And the difference in this one to the original that I'd like to point out is the shark itself. Whereas in the original game, the shark would just go around opening his mouth every second. Well, now I'll show you. He's not. Yeah? He's not going around out opening his mouth. It's only when you press the space bar that he opens up his mouth. And that is the only time you can actually eat a fish. And the purpose of that is it makes it a bit more challenging. If you go to the costumes, see that is the shark there, and I've just edited his open mouth. Now you notice I just put some red just around his mouth just there. You can colour the teeth in, but you need to make sure that the red is on the outside, not black is on the outside. That's really important. So to be honest, you can spend a lot more time, I suppose, in doing it, but you make sure the red is on the outside. So because basically when I've done the coding, it's you can only eat a fish when you pass it with your mouth open. So the fish has got to touch the red of the shark for them to die. In the original game, all the fish had to do was touch any part of the shark, even the fin, and they'd be eaten. And I never really saw the point of that, to be honest, and it made it a bit more challenging. So the fish, you've got the fish types of fish here. You got the I think the yellow fish are first. Let me just double check. Yeah, points 25 points for the yellow fish. Oh, sorry, it's the purple ones are the random ones there. 10 points for the purple fish, 25 points for the yellow fish, and 50 points for the red spotted fish. And essentially what that means is these ones move, the 10-point ones, they move slower, the yellow ones move a little bit faster, and the red spotted fish move a lot faster, so they're obviously harder to catch. Now I've made it a bit more challenging. I've added a time countdown on here. As you see here also, the number as it tells you how many fish you've eaten there. Obviously countdown timer, I think I've got it set to a minute. And the shark size, because what happens now is that when I start off at 25% of normal size, and when I eat a fish I get 5% bigger every time. Which is good, which means it's easier to get around the screen. Okay, it just gets me to one end of the screen to the other because I'm bigger. So the number of steps I'm taking is still the same number of steps, but because I'm bigger, it will move around quicker, which means I can get more fish. But this little fella here, yeah, he's the octopus, and he's created from file. He's from one of the things on there. But what I've done is he moves around autonomously by his own. So what he does, he will move round in a certain part of the screen, but it will take in the same time it will get there. So I think it's 1 second. He can go anywhere on this screen, and it will just take 1 second to get there. So he's actually quite difficult sometimes. It makes it a bit more interesting. So I'll play the game again. Right, so I'm moving the shark around now. See how quickly he's moving? So I do need to keep on my toes to avoid him, because he could go anywhere. And if he touches me, I reduce the size. See that? I've gone down to 25% now. Okay, so I'll eat a few more fish. Come on, there we go. So I'm at 40%. I'm quite big now. Ah! And obviously the time's going down, so when you're playing your friends, you can make it a challenge to see how many points you can get. Ah, come on. Oh, see, it's not as easy as it looks. So there we go, time up. I've scored 150 points and I've eaten 9 fish. So I really enjoyed this game. This is probably my favourite game out of all of them. I had a lot of fun writing it, and it's not a completely original idea by myself. The format of the shark game was originally from the Scratch 1.4 tutorial that we were issued out, but I've expanded it a lot more. The background you see there, that's just an image you can get off Google. And this is what I love so much about Scratch 2.0. You can get a picture and off the internet or whatever and use that. Whereas Scratch 1.4, you were limited to just their own stock photos and media. You couldn't add anything extra. So whereas all the fish here, the shark and octopus, they're all from the file, from the built-in programs. If you wanted to, you could add something else, another sprite, completely new. But it's easier when you've got these built-in because they've got the different costumes. So the shark's got the closed mouth costume and the open mouth costume. The octopus has got that, so he looks like he's moving. The fish don't have separate costumes, they just go around. That's why I love just 2.0 much better than 1.4. because of this reason. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game, and I think you will also. So yeah, enjoy.